All right. Let me take you through a couple things here, and I'm gonna put you on that bucket here to start with, and we're gonna go through a couple drills, and as soon as you catch on, we'll move on. If you don't catch on, we'll just stay right there until you do. So be a good student. All right. One of the pieces that when I watched you hit, is that at some point you have the ability, because I just watched it happen right there, but I don't think that you realize that you don't swing with we don't swing with our hands. Our hands are what's the result of, and what I swing with, the motor of my whole engine is me being able to rotate and turn. And we do that with our shoulders and our core and all the way to our hips, and all of those work together. One thing doesn't lead the other. You have a bat in your hands, and you're going to set into a good position. And the whole objective here is that you have to rotate. And when you rotate, we're going to put ourselves in a position so that there's a reaction, and that reaction is going to get our barrel out to the baseball. I do not guide my hands to the ball, and I do not try to see the baseball at a particular point and me trying to make contact to a point. I am trying my best to see the ball, and as if if it's almost like if I made you walk up here and put your bat on your shoulder and kind of have a longer bat. If I said, all right, throw it in there, and if you could without hurting yourself, you had to hit it by doing that. That's the move that me and Cooper mastered. Like when you watch him, he's a master at just being able to go. He holds good position and goes, and he turns that much, and his barrel's on the ball. And you're like, oh, how you do that? And we started when he was almost your age. Greg walked in and went, why are you messing with Cooper? I'm like, well, me and Cooper are fixing this. And we started doing this progression. So every time I watched you swing, when I saw a couple pitches where we had some hands doing, like you kind of tried to push it one direction, or like you're like, okay, that guy needs to recognize that if I'm trying to hit a ball over there, I can't do it with any extension of my arms. I'm going to have to hit that ball with this motion. Like I have to hit it with me turning, and my arms are just going to lock up in position. And then as I turn, I'm going to turn the barrel loose. The only joint in my arm, in my body, that's really going to work is my wrist and my hand joint. I'm going to try to get my bat to work around my forearm. It's going to kind of look more like that because you're not going to have your hand back here and break your wrist. You're going to press them forward and swing the bat. But that idea that there's two rotations going is that I'm turning as fast as I can, and I'm going to hold with these strong shoulders and arms, and then this is rotating around my hand. There's two things that are moving. You can see this is working around because I'm turning, and this is working around because this is moving and it's working. So there's just double action going on. If you're a physics kid, it's called the double pendulum. This is what all of physics and all that stuff works. And that's where I came up. That's where I understood this from, and was like, wait a minute. We're trying to rotate, and he's trying to rotate. Just get in this good position. And I started working with Cooper doing that, and it just took off like a wildfire. So those are the two moves. Does that make sense to you? Absolutely. So when I evaluate, it's like, is the boy moving? Is his center of mass moving? Like, is he swinging and then changing his posture, which that messes the rotation up? And is his hands in good position where his back can work completely out? And when you do that, it winds up being that if you'll hold a good position, that your bat basically always is an extension directly off of your spine at a 90 degrees. It's probably more like down here at your sternum, but it's like that's where you're going to swing from. And if you tip over, that's what it's going to look like. It's the exact same swing standing up that's flat. And when I tip over, it looks like this now. Because I'm turning. And when you watch me hit a ball that's down, and I go, woo! And then I hit a ball that's up, and all I do is take my posture and stand up, and I go, that's the same motion, as that. And you're like, oh, wait a minute. I can get to 2 different places with the same swing. I just got something. I can put a ball on the tee, and I can tell Cooper at this point to hit one, then he'll memorize his posture, and he'll pull it back and close his eyes and go, whoom, and he's moving back to the exact same spot, and he adjusts height by his posture. He doesn't adjust height by his swinging down here or swinging up there. His hand and eye coordination don't have to be as good as you think they do. It's about controlling your body, not controlling your hands. Obviously, if you've got a little hand-eye coordination with this, and you're being able to go, oh my God, the ball just changed directions because he spun it, or I couldn't see the turn, and then you're able to make an adjustment, obviously that's part of it. But I'm talking about ball off the tee, my plane of my swing has got to be determined by my posture of my body, and then I'm rotating and spinning off of this axis all the time. Most of the time, if you watch, like we all kind of get, the ball's right there, like that's a great pitch, so you're going to be right here. That's going to be your posture, and it was yours too. Like I watched you whap, and you just tilted into about right there, or maybe your butt sticks out and your chest is up, but it's really just the top part of your back, because sometimes we hunch and don't bend over with posture like that. So sometimes you watch kids go, they'll hunch this way, and they're able to hit a pitch that's down, but it's just that top part of your butt, that axis makes a right angle every time. Mike Trout's he's like a freaking machine. When you watch all of it, it's like he's here, and he's also 6'4". He's here, and his barrel's there, and he goes, whap! And he does it over and over and over and over and over and over. And if you throw it just above that, you can get him out, but if you throw it there, it's over. And he makes a living. People try to tap into that and try to make different things of it, but that's it. So on the bucket, sit down. Put your knees that way. Very good. I'm going to put this tee pretty much even with your knees. We're going to stick that up, grab that pole right there. Do it. Do your thing. Yeah. Yeah. I got my thing going on. You do the same. Put this down and just use that. You're going to put this across your chest. You're going to hold it so that it touches just top of your bicep to top of your bicep, and that represents your shoulder plane or shoulder angle. You good? So when I set this right here, I'm trying to get this up so that your angle is completely flat. You good? If I move it down, you're just going to do this and do the same drill. Does that make sense? But for now, I need you to feel me rotating. I need you to feel me rotating completely around my spine without any twist in it. All right? So what you're going to do is you're going to pull this thing back. Obviously, that's about as far as you can go. Don't hurt yourself. And then when you come forward, that's about as far as you can go. And you're going to try to get as much out of that little space as you possibly can. And we want you to hit the ball with just turning. Just go slow at first. Just bring it back. Now I want you to do that 5 times. Go back and forth and touch the top. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3. Start picking up the pace. Yep. Keep going a little faster. All right, here we go. Start picking it up. Boom! Shoo! Here we go. There's the move. One more. Stop. Some kids can't do that. I'm bringing an athlete into the space. It makes life a whole lot easier, right? All right. With some ha! Hit it. Oh, yeah. And here's the move. Yep. Do it again. Yep, and I can see your feet trying to push into the ground so that you can stabilize with them. You can move you can turn on that bucket as much as you can. Just don't move your feet. Like let your knees. So when you get asked questions like, well, what about your hips and your knees and your stuff? And you're like, well, are you going to try to use those legs or not? Or you just gonna sit there on your butt? Like pivot with them. Yeah. Now you're starting to go. What's the first thing that happens when you start trying to go hard is that you wind up in this tilt and you're like, why are you doing that? It's because it's just a habit, because you've always hit pitches that are down, and most of the time we are, but we don't want to get ourselves in this position where I go this. I'm trying to get this action. Now if I tip over and do that same action, yeah, like when I move the ball down there, you're going to go just like that, and but it's the same action in your body. Stay up tall, keep your spine straight, and hit the baseball. A couple more here, get the feel. There we go. I'm going to move the tee back here a little bit further. Last one. Yeah. You got it, Dad? Yes, sir. Perfect. Now we're gonna do the same drill. I know you're sitting down and I'm standing up, and that's a cool thing. I'm gonna put the bat on the ball, and I need the bat to be directly. That's great contact. Now I need you to move your bucket so that you can put your hands on the bat, and it be a perfect where it's directly in front of you. All right, now back up just a touch where that front arm has got 90-degree angle, and get you just a little bit. There you go. All right, you like it? You're like, all right, good. Now when I know there's some wrist cock that you can get back, but when I get back to the baseball, this is what I want to come back to the baseball with, and you'll notice that you've got a bent arm. I didn't put you out here like this. This is called the tips, like the golfers where you hit back on the back one. We call those the tips. If you try to hit off the tips, all you got left from there, you have no more adjustability, is your bat now comes out of the zone once you get extended arms. If you hit the baseball here, and all of a sudden it's not there when you get there, you now have some adjustability because you can stretch your arms out. Does that make sense? So that's why you get in that position. Good. Now when I put this thing on your shoulders, there's an angle right here, and this bat and that shoulder angle are going to match always. Got it? So now we're going to pull this back, and you kind of feel that thing cock, and where's it headed back to your shoulder at? Right there on your deltoid. We normally talk about that being the tip of our shoulder, and that's kind of where we're headed to. That's a good space to aim for. So once we get to there, now I need you to do the. Once you do that, I want you to pull this to right here, and I'm trying to make a box right here. This is down, and if you go back, you see it? Have a little flexibility right there. There it is. Now I want you to hold that position. I'm pointed straight back. This arm and this chest are married. This is where you hear the word connection. They are connected. So if your shoulders move, what's going to happen to that arm? It moves with me. Does this arm move without that? So there is none of this. This hand never, hold these still. This never goes, loosen up there, let me push you. This arm never goes this way. This arm is connected to that. So what brings the bat back? Don't be loosey-goosey right there. Hold it right there. What brings the barrel back? You turning does. Does that make sense? It's the same drill that you just did, except I got my arm out here, and I'm now going boom, and I am not letting my arm move. I'm bringing this back to there. Now I know there's a little bit of this that you could also bring with it. So this joint's working. This joint and that joint are not. They're locked up. So once you pull it back, you're going to go boom, and they start to work together. So when I turn my hand, which has the knob, which is attached to the end, when I rotate and go, whoa, my hand is now right where I want it to be, and I didn't do anything other than just go, boom, and I can turn as fast as you can. And the stuff that you do in the weight room every day is about this, and it's about that's what you do when you hit. If you're trying to do it with your hands, you just kind of run out of strength and speed. But there is no running out of strength and speed when your move is hold, and go. That's where you're like, I like playing this game where I can swing like a maniac. And that's what you want me to do. Not press it and hit it away, like freaking rotate. All right, so the drill is the same drill. You're going to pull it back to right there. You're going to lock this arm. You're going just lock it. Yeah. We're going to try to make this and this match. And they don't. And now you have some preference right here. Some kids are long-armed. Some kids are short-armed. I don't really care. Doesn't matter. You make it to you. But I just need, when you rotate back, you can only rotate. You can only rotate. Hold your position for me. You can only rotate, just like when you had to, if you rotate to there, that's about as far as you can go. Now, if you go any further, it's because of your hands. We don't want that. You good? So we're going to pull it back. We're going to sit right there, and you're going to go and stop right there at the ball. Go. And we're going to sit right here and play with that. And you're going to take 5, and I'm going to take 2, and you're going to take 5, and I'm going to take 2. And you're going to hit this by turning, not by moving your arms. Move your arms with your turn. There you go. And remember, these are all locked up pretty tight, but this joint is not. So it can have, like, it's got to have that looseness. Not loose. Loose. Yeah. Yeah. And you can start, can you that time, did you feel your barrel like, oh, God, I can't hardly hold on to it. Yeah, do it again. Last one, and I'm going to take over. Good, let me try. And you just watch. And I'm an old man, and you're a young, strapping kid, and I'm going to do this right here, and I'm going to pull it back to that same spot, and I'm going to lock it up, and I'm going to go. You just kind of, and I think I'm hitting it harder than you are. And I'm hitting it with that, like I'm going to wear that little seat out. Because I understand that it's not my arms that are doing it. They're locked into a good position. My wrist is able to release the barrel, and I'm trying to go, you got it? We'll do it. Try to beat the old man if you could, please. Ooh. That's it. Now, if you could pull it back, instead of pulling it back further, but just pull it back to where I'm like, oh, that's tense, where I found like right there. You can pull it back further and like push it past your limit. But once you feel tension, it's like, there it is. Any reaction coming back this way with your turn brings the bat. Then I know I'm in a good position. We refer to that as, me and your daddy used to put brakes on our car, and there'd be air in the brakes, and you'd push on the brake, and it wouldn't, you'd have to push it way down there before it would put the brakes on. And we would take the hose off, and we would bleed all the air out of it until water, then we put it back on, and then when you push the brakes, it worked right. We call bleeding the brakes. The air that was in our line is you got to get rid of that. That's the slack or the air that's in your system. So when I pull back and I find tension, like I can't go back anymore. Well, if I move this way, my hands are going to react and come with me. If I don't pull them back very much and I go, whew, well, my hands aren't back here, and so they're not coming forward until I get to there, and then they go, and we run into this. And all of a sudden your bat has this wave in it because it's not in a good position. When you pull it back, you're going to get the slack out of your rope, and you're going to sink into that bucket, and you're going to go with some quickness, not with brute. That make sense? Does Cooper on his back, does he strength or does it loose in his wrist? It's loose in his hands. He's holding on to, he's squeezing the snot out of it. We'll get there. Like you'll get there. Because you want the end of that thing to go, and that's what we want. The rest of your body, and I'm not sure if I'm saying it correctly, but like when I say tense, it's like, it's not tense in that. It's tense in like this, this muscle back here is, it's just the front of my arm and my biceps probably not, really not engaged. It's just my tricep is like going, all right, man, when I turn, I'm trying to hold it with my body, and whichever muscle group that is that does that, please do that. But I'm not going that, none of that's really, and it's just probably my lat. If I was, when you say, probably your back and your arm. Yeah. All right, big boy, go again. You got 5 and I got 2. Yep. Loosen your hands. Did you feel your hands push that time? Now, you've decided to be strong by putting your hand out in front of you this way and straighten it out. Please remember that it connects to our body this way. Like if you try to hit like this, you're going to look funny getting in the box, and Coach Adams is going to call me and go, "What in the heck did you do to him?" And be like, "I don't need that phone call. Here we go. Go again." This arm gets in front of you, and then when you watch Henry Ford and all those guys, they're going boom, and they come through and they make this little box right there. Can you see it? And that box just holds the whole way through until they get a chance to, once they get their hands in front, now they can go. And it just, this tensity, this holding, this connection to my turn, my body, it just happens right here at the end. Once I get going, and everything just kind of takes off and lets her fly. I guess I need to put a ball on there, don't I? I'm waiting on you to go. Yeah. Yeah, that's what we want to do right there. Just do it again and again. Good. Now you're trying to not let this happen. Let me have this guy. If you were, if I go at it from a perspective of a carpenter who hits the nail, they use their arm and they kind of bring it down, and sometimes they don't even use their arm. They just kind of go right here and they go whack. And the only thing that's really working is that guy. So when you do it from the side, do I have the ability to pretty much hold my, do I have that capability? And you're like, yeah, like this one's even helping it. So when I come off of this thing and I turn, do I have the ability to go? I do. And everything else kind of holds its position. That got a reference drill that you've done before? Yeah. Yep. Just keep trying it, keep doing it. I'll keep talking. Yeah. Yay! Gets better every time I pause and bring you back. Go again. Two more. Good. Let me have that. Grab the PVC pipe. Let's go again. No. With the arms. And I need it to be hit right here. So you're going to have to move your bucket over and back and create a whole lot more length and space. And yep, you get it set up right, and you get yourself. There you go. You get yourself in a good position right there. Yeah, move it on out that way a little bit further. You got to use your length. Oh, look at you. All right, big boy. Let her fly. Good. Your arms are good and stiff. You've got that part down, but there's also this little, that big long pipe. Yeah. I need you to save that for right there. So as you turn, you're going to turn it back to right there, and you're going to go put a little tension on it. And you're like, whoa, I like that. So there's some little movements in there where you're like, oh, so I'm holding it back, then I let it go. Yeah, something like that. That's it. Good. Let me try. I just think it's always good to just see a picture of. And if I had Cooper here, he'd just do it with you, and then I don't have to be the old guy doing this thing. But it's put another one on there. And now I'm moving much smoother, and I'm not feeling like but I had to kind of get that point across to you where and now it's I can have a little of that go on, and you can kind of see the fluidity of this move. You be smoother. And you saw how smooth I was right there. You do the same thing. Go. There you go. The tempo back and the tempo forward should be the same. Pull it back, pull it forward, and now you get this little right there at the end. It's got a little wrist flip or a little bit of a little pop. Yeah. Yeah. This time pull this back without moving, and then go. That goes back first. Now go. Yeah. Yeah. About 3 more here. Sweet. Let's pick up. Take a break. Let your brain ponder on that for a second. Dad will ask a question here. I'm sure his mind's over racing 100 miles an hour. You know him, don't you? Get that bucket over here and we'll just dump him in there. I thought we would. It takes away so much movement. I watched on Chris video. On his way here, he bring it back in, bring it over. Instead of, if he was to do exactly what he's saying, it's really hard to be late. Well, I'm simplifying all that mess. I'm taking that out, and you're like, that's the move. Yep. And you can have some other components in there and it'd still be okay. You don't have to be like that. But if you are, then I'll show you a picture of Cooper's and you'll be like, oh my, like it is so efficient. You're like, well, that's why he's a professional at it at this point, but it's not. All right, so let's grab. I don't have a little bat. You didn't ring a little one? It'll be all right. We'll do this one here. So now let's play with. I think I can do it from this guy. Let's play with. I'm gonna get on this side. Just do it from right hand side. You're ambidextrous, so life's pretty easy for you. Let's play with that part. I need you to hold your hand still. You can grab your wrist if you want to. I'm just gonna sit here just like this. I'm gonna get in that same position that we were, and I'm gonna go. Same position. It's gonna be right there off my shoulder tip, and I'm gonna go. You do it from this side. You're left-hander. You do it from this side. Put that knee down, switch feet. There you go. Keep that one kind of out toward him. You'll kind of be sitting at a 45-degree angle, and you're going to get in that same good position that we kind of were earlier. We're going to get in that same position that we were earlier. Both hands out right there. Yeah. So now take that one off and come up here a little bit higher on the bat so you can easier to control. And now when we pulled it back, we went to right here. So all we're doing is back. Ooh, and let it hit you in the jaw. That's the move. Got it? And you hit it. Don't hit yourself in the face with the. Yep. Out here a little further. Yep. Watch your chin. Yep. Do it again. And you probably feel like you can kind of feel like your thumb is pressing it out. Cooper always, that's what he thought. He goes, my thumb works. And I'm like, your thumb? He's like, yeah, my thumb. Yep. I'm teaching the body part to move differently than it's ever moved before. Last one. Perfect. See that? I'm gonna do it from this side. You just put one on there for me. I'm gonna get up here choked up pretty far. Now, instead of me just sitting here doing this, I'm gonna pull it, I'm gonna bring it back. I'm gonna keep as much of this position as I can. This is called a slotted position where your elbow's underneath your hand. It's not out here. Like if you do that, then it kind of twists down, and we'll do that when we tip over. Like we'll hit a pitch that's down, but we want to try to keep it up. But you don't have to like bring it in here and bicep curl. Just be pretty good. Like have it underneath you. So as I go, now I'm going to talk about that circle that we went in. My hand's going to travel in a circle. And what's going to happen to the end of the bat when my hand travels in a circle? The barrel's going to come out and around. So I'm not making it do that. That's physics. And the ball comes up. All I got to do is make my hands go properly, and the reaction of the barrel happens. I pull it back, hold that good position, and I make my hand, your knob will probably kind of go right past by it, and out comes your barrel. This is a one-handed swing. We're talking about hand pivots here. There it is. Yeah.
You wanted to finish so far.
I'm going to address that just a second. Stop right there. Stop right there. Pull it back and stop. Good. Stop right there. Now, when you come, as this hand travels this way, it's going to release, and if you extend your arm, then this thing does what you know that it does. So as you come right here, don't just hold it and keep going in a circle. The circle just starts once we get going and my barrel comes out. Now what direction do I want my hand to go? I don't want it to keep going that way, do it? I want it to go, and then I create, and that's what. So as I start to turn, I'm gonna go, and then I get to here, or you're gonna break your wrist, or you just turn and go this way. So once I get to here, then I'm gonna go and just let it flow and turn over. Yeah, but you're gonna reach it. Yeah, it'll happen naturally as you, and that's what getting into the zone like this. This is the strike zone comes this way. Your bat is going to enter the zone right here, and once it gets in the zone, I don't want to go that way. I want to go that way, as far and as long as my arms are. You don't have extremely long arms, so you have to do this efficiently. Big old long arm guys can go. Me and you have shorter arms compared to our height, I'm assuming. I've never measured you, but so as you swing right here, there it is. Feel the turn of your barrel. Pull it back and stop. As it turns right here, then it turns over and goes. And I know it's hitting you in the form, and that's pretty much what it wants to do. Don't hold it like this and twist it up. You're gonna hurt your wrist. Yes. Yes. All right, last one. What you're doing right here is day 3 on my course. I do what I did. I show you, and then I show you the 3 examples, and then you do them, and then no different than right there. It's just going to take a little more time where I would go, no, no, and then I send you back another space, and so this is how it's working. 2-handed, same drill. That's it, and you can pull it back and swing it. Do you feel, now that you've got 2 hands on it, do you feel that there's this barrel working around my hands? And I can actually tap into that and help it move that direction and be fast when I get to the ball. Yep. This time let it go all the way around. There you go. Now the funny part when I said that, it's amazing how this kind of all ties back together. You're on this path. You're on this path. And what path should you stay on as you go around? You should be coming over here, and it's probably going to wind up in that same space. Where did you go? Did you notice? Because somebody along the way said finish high, probably. And they're trying to get you to have this path and finish high, like I get what they're saying. But if you put it in our context, you're like, no, sir, I will finish high. I will finish high when I do this. And when I swing now, I'm going to finish on plane, and it's going to be up here, and everybody's going to like it. But when I stand up, where's my finish going to be? It's going to be right there. If I go watch I know you sometimes hard to visualize because I'm a geometry teacher, so I do it pretty well. Your dad probably does too. If I go here and then finish high, I change the plane. And you're like, ooh, you want me to swing in? Ooh, like that. That's not, you changing the plane means that you can't rotate really hard. You have to try to do something and slow it down so you can change directions. And that's not what we want. I want you to go, I'm on plane, and I want you to go until your hips lock. And if you get to the baseball on the right plane, it doesn't land for a little bit. And it's the funnest thing it's the fraternity of people that get to hit a home run in high school baseball. And I bet you'll join it. You'll join me in my fraternity here soon. I had one of our Catholic kids that's been going through this with me, and he hit his first one. It was just like, welcome, son. 2-handed, pull it back as far as you can, kind of like we did with our rotations. You know, you're going to be back here, but don't get twisted. Hold good position and just go back until it stops. And then when you come around this time, let the friggin' barrel go. Pivot. Woo! Yeah, and I think you can pull back just one more tick. Yep. Make sure your arms go that way before they go out. We're going to get just a little bit of reach this time. You see the plane pops? I do too. Now, when you pull it back this time, it's like I'm rigid in my wrist. You want to get as much of that sucker pulled. You want it to go around that shoulder. Yeah, like you hold right there. Like if I could get more out of it, like this would bend and I'd get to there, and this hand would work around that back, and it would get back there as far as it can without getting twisted up around. It would just work back here, and I'd get every ounce. Don't you hit me in the head. Ready? Yeah. And just hold your plane as you circle back around. You need me to go? If you're swinging like that, we're all standing around eating hot dogs, waiting on your next at bat. And there it is. And we've taught you something. This is our last one. Yep.
All this here.